crazy no call there. He was shoved out the air. Oh, here comes Sengun!
It's rewind time.
Air. Oh, here comes Sengun!
It's rewind time.
Oh, here comes Sengun!
It's rewind time.
Oh, here comes Sengun! Oh, here comes Sengun! Oh, here comes Sengun! Oh, there he was shoved out the air. Oh, here comes Sengun!
6 hours later.
Okay. All right. I think I've gotten that out my system. Why else do you think this video was late? And due to me having to be somewhere in the morning, I have to be a responsible adult and use my time wisely. So I'll only be covering this game. And what a game it was. Finally talking about the Rockets, something I should have done months ago, if I'm being honest with you. Disclaimer. That will not be the most questionable thing you see in this video. You have been warned. Was that Paz that just took that shot? Yes. Yes, it was. That man is third in the NBA when it comes to drawn charges. He really puts his physical being on the line for the Warriors. And speaking of physical, this game was very much so. For all 4 quarters, look at this here. Menace on menace violence. That physical brand of basketball this Rockets team plays with showed itself in spades. Unfortunately, it didn't affect Curry all that much. Can we talk about Curry? I'm honestly tired of talking about Curry because in all honesty, it seems as though I can't talk about him and not glaze him. Exhibit A. Oh, get him dancing. He does that. What do you call that?
Are you kidding me?
Geometrically, that should not have happened.
He refuses to abide by the rules of our dimensional plane. The word special named itself after him. I wasn't expecting him to do this well at all. I thought he'd have somewhat of a quiet game, or he'd be running in the paint having to do that because of the amount of attention he's going to be receiving, especially in a game 1. Rockets weren't just giving him attention, they were getting close to third base with him. Aisha ain't touched him as much as they did. Toilet handles don't get touched up as much as this. Whoa, whoa.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
I still haven't gotten over him doing that, and I still stand by what I said in this video. What you looking at me like that for? He did it. He did it, not me. Maybe that was someone else wearing Jalen Green's jersey because he was shooting atrociously. 3 of 15 from the field and 0 of 4 from 3-point range. Change your name to Jalen Red until you do better. The man with the Mortal Kombat character's name in Sengun was the only one that showed up for the Rockets offensively on a consistent basis. It felt like the Rockets were so pressed into playing defense that they forgot to play offense. And I commend them on the job they were doing because this was a low-scoring game, double especially for today's iteration of the NBA. Anytime neither team reaches 100 points, you're in awe, or at least I am. Multiple players on the Rockets took turns switching on Curry, trying to make life difficult for him. It just didn't amount to anything with how he was playing. Rockets really let the game get out of hand at the end of the second quarter, and then the third quarter was just a mess, but then they started to come back towards the end of that, and they were able to cut a 20 or over 20-point lead down to a 4-point lead, and it looked like they were starting to get things together. It looks like everything was starting to come into fruition, and the Warriors got back to playing their game, took a timeout, readjusted, and that experience shone through, which is something I think will never not be a determining factor in some of these series. No matter how young and talented a team may be, if you haven't built up enough XP in these circumstances, you will start to get exposed. Older players or veterans will take advantage of your naive play at times. You may be expending so much energy trying to assert dominance and just simply outwork the other team. You forget that you have to face this team numerous times in the same series, and you're not conserving your energy. There are some times where the game has to slow down. You can't just try to keep getting transition buckets and try to just outrun the other team. It'll come back to haunt you when things start to get close, or if they start to get close and you have nothing left in the tank. And now these players will begin to outwork you with their mind. And that's something redacted. Number 23 on Golden State does. I don't even know why. I don't know why I bother to say Draymond. I just said Draymond like 2, 3, 4 times in the past 2 weeks. Whatever. It stings my very tongue to say it, but whatever. He's most likely going to win Defensive Player of the Year, and he, unfortunately, very unfortunately, kinda, sorta, maybe deserves it. Ugh, what's this world coming to when I have to say these things? Ugh. He's always been the energy and toughness of the Warriors. And now that you have Jimmy Butler on this team, you've essentially gotten 2 engines for the price of 1. And Jimmy Butler is offensively gifted, where he can just turn it on at a moment's notice. And he has been turning it on quite a bit these playoffs. He's played over 120 minutes in just the past few games. And he was out there for, it seemed like, nearly the entire game, and he looked like he could play another game immediately after this one. And his footwork, a mechanical wonder.
Left foot 2 stumps. Slide to the left.
Commissioner repeats himself yet again. I cannot believe Jimmy Butler is on the Warriors. And I was sorely wrong about the impact he'd have on this team. I didn't think it'd make too much more of a difference. And the way the Warriors were flailing prior to Jimmy's being there, it didn't look like it was salvageable. It really didn't to me. But he's simply done wonders for this team. Possession to possession, he creates so much attention. I don't think Curry's benefited from another player being on his team that's had this much attention, or at least somewhat relative or in the neighborhood to the amount of the attention Kevin Durant had when he was on this team, which then allows Curry to free up his movement. The screens and the cuts are more seamless than they were in the first half of the season for the Warriors. Oh my God, there goes that shot again. Ugh. You know, if I'm a Rockets fan, I wouldn't be too discouraged by what just, if I'm a Rockets fan, I would absolutely detest Curry for what he's done to this franchise for what, a decade now and some change maybe. But this series on its own, Rockets did a damn good job. The Rockets did not look like a team that's been 5 years out of the playoffs. They played with a certainty. They played with comfortability in themselves, at least until that veteran experience started to show through for the Warriors. Other than Curry doing Curry things, Moody and Pod's unsung heroes for the Warriors. Sengun provided so much versatility offensively and defensively, but there was just nobody to come along with him on the Rockets. You had VanFleet. VanFleet was 2 of 13 from three-point range. My God. I'm pretty sure that won't happen in game 2, but damn, 2 of 13, that's abysmal. Jalen Green needs to calm the hell down with some of his drives and how he just plays the ball. He's just wild. He's just a little too wild. He needs to rein it in a little bit. Oftentimes you see in some super athletic players who are self-aware that they're super athletic, they'll try to Mr. Fantastic their way through the court. They'll just try to do a bunch of stuff that you're like, you're doing too much now. We see what you can do. We know what you are, but where are your fundamentals? This is a time in which you need to ground yourself. And Amen Thompson was playing such great defense. He was heavily contesting a lot of these shots that Curry was putting up. It just didn't seem to matter. He was even playing some great defense on Jimmy if 1 or 2 of the times that he happened to get switched on him. Just didn't matter. Who do you think is the best Thompson twin? Would it be Asur on my Pistons, or would it be Amen on the Rockets? I think just because Asur was out for an extended period of time and we've seen Amen play, he's developed his game more. He looks more solid right now. I think Asur will do better just given some more time. We'll see what happens anyway. But tell me your thoughts on that, as well as this game. How do you think this series looks? Warriors taking game 1 from them on their home court. That is not supposed to happen. Anytime this happens, that is cause for concern. They stole 1 game from you. Now you have to win the next game. Going back into Golden State and you could be down 2-0, problems nobody wants. But share your thoughts on this series, as well as day 2 of the NBA playoffs, and how far do you think this series is going, and who do you have winning it? Comment below, let me know. Like and subscribe if you are new. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see ya on the next one.
Just shoved out the air. Oh, here comes Sengun.
I just needed one more for the road. That was the last time, I promise.